digital stalking. I'm not into slideshows because I'm not really a geek, so I'm just gonna talk. Hope that's all right with you guys. Yeah, I'm a geek. I'm a feminine geek, so it's basically like I like geek stuff, but I don't really do it. So I'm just gonna go old school with my notes. Again, I'm Courtenay Rogers. I own a company called Primarily Rye with my brother Matthew, and we're a branding and design firm. And this session kind of started with a social media presentation I was doing with Kate O'Neill. And the last thing I said, it was to a group of business owners, all women, and I said, listen girls, I digitally stalk everybody from a prospective date to a prospective client. And they just got the biggest kick out of it, and I was like, no, I'm being serious. Like, doesn't everybody do that? So it just kind of got me thinking that I don't think people are really using the internet effectively when it comes to doing research. How many people in here, and first of all, ask me a question whenever you want to. This is totally laid back.
What's your name?
I'm Courtenay Rogers. Thanks, Joe. Where's your wife?
She's not here because she
She's left you alone. Oh, this is going to be bad.
41329.
And I want this to be interactive. So when I ask a question, can you please answer it if you have an answer or a comment or anything like that. So, and don't lie, because I'm a stalker. I can figure it out, okay? So how many people in here have done or are doing online dating? Okay, don't lie. 1 in 3 people meet their match online. Okay, so what's the first thing you do when you meet a girl or a guy online? You're like, oh, this person's kind of cool. Thank you. You Google them. So you're Googling them to find out if what they're saying is real. And then possibly if you know anybody who knows that person. Because who's the best person to tell you about a prospective boyfriend or a girlfriend? One of their friends, right? Or their mom, but yeah, hopefully it's one of their friends. So I like to tell people, if you're going to do all this stalking, digital stalking online for people that you're just going to go have a coffee with, why aren't you doing it with people that you could prospectively do business with? I say the internet is for stalking. Do it. Look for people, look for their companies, see what other people are saying about them. It's just like if you're going to go out to a restaurant, you're going to ask your friend, what did you think about that restaurant? You don't go to their website and read their own reviews of themselves, because it's probably a little bit slanted. Who in here has Googled themselves? Everyone does it. Don't be ashamed. Everyone Googles themselves. Yes. 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 Okay, I Googled myself. I probably try a couple once every few months just to see what's being said about me. I do have Google Alerts set up as well, and that's another really good tool to keep track of yourself, what people are saying about you and your company. So I Googled myself, and what came up was, in this order, was my Twitter stream, my Google profile, LinkedIn, my company's website, Facebook, my blog, a random chick also named Courtenay Rogers who lives in the UK, who's a designer who I would definitely not hire to design, and a Flickr stream with Kate. So that was all on the first page of Google. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to see what the internet was saying about me, because if people are trying to figure out who I am and what my company is and who we do, I need to know what can be found online. Luckily, it was all PG. Yeah. Thank you, sister-in-law, especially who you do. Yes. Yes. The reason I want to talk about using the internet is because who in here does sales? Any type of sales for your company, for your own business. How many of you love to cold call? Isn't it so fun? Okay, Joe loves, is Len here? Len Prescorn? No? Because I think Len actually does love to cold call, but other than that, it's really awkward and weird, and I know as a business owner, I hate that, like, what do you say? Okay, I've got my script. All right, I've got my script. I'm going to call this person. They have no idea who I am, and I'm just going to start talking to them, and they don't care. They have a million other things to do. So instead of cold calling to either get contacts or leads or anybody you want to do business with, digitally stalk them. What I mean by that is figure out how you can get to them in a warm way. So we've got our cold calls, which is completely, you're calling them from out of the blue, to a warm call, which is you say, hey Joe, this is Courtenay Rogers. I'm friends with Sally, and we were all at Podcamp last weekend. Okay, well first of all, hopefully they're not gonna hang up on you because you've actually given them a reason to listen to you, and then you've made them realize that you have a connection in common. So that is just one of the very small reasons that I like to digitally stalk people. How do you find companies or people to stalk? This is coming from a small business perspective. It's my brother and I, obviously we're a small business. I need to figure out who I want to do business with. I can network, and I can network all day long, but there's other really great tools out there, especially in Nashville, to figure out what companies I might want to do business with. Some of them that I use, and please interject if you have other tools, because I want everyone to take away from this. I get the Tennessee and Z-Blast every day, and they do a really good job. Is Knight in here? Yes. They do a really good job of very specifically highlighting what companies are in the news. The same with the Nashville Business Journal. Anyone in here from MBJ? Same thing. You get an e-blast, and it specifically says this is what's happening, and then here's the companies that are in today's news. So it only takes a few minutes in the morning. I kind of put it into my routine of checking my email, checking my Twitter, all that kind of stuff, and then seeing, oh, who's new in the news, what's happening. Because there very well may be a chance that I could do business with them. The Post, the Nashville Post is another great one. The Scene, I'm from Franklin, so I also like the Herald. I get all these people's e-blasts because I don't read newspapers anymore, sorry. I read them online. So I get these e-blasts every day. I just skim through them, and then I'll say, that's a new company. Possibly they need a brand. Maybe they need some marketing work, things like that. Then is when the magic happens. I look them up on the Google, first thing we do. Okay, I figure out who it is that I need to talk to. Because if I just call the number that's listed on the website, I'm probably going to get passed around, as I should, because I don't have a warm lead to get in there. So I need to figure out, is it the marketing director I want to speak to? Is it an executive? Who is it that I need to get in there? Then I go to LinkedIn, and I find this person, like let's say it's Sally Smith. Okay, I need to get to Sally, who's in the X company. I try to find this person on LinkedIn. Now, I'm very active on LinkedIn, so I have a lot of contacts. So hopefully, I can find through my group of contacts how I can get in with Sally Smith. See where we're going here? And this is totally not illegal, people. This is legal stalking. When you put your information out there, you're basically saying, please come find me.
Courtney, they use
Yes.
Dun and Bradstreet too. It's all
Use what?
Dun and Bradstreet.
Dun and Bradstreet?
No, you know.
Okay. I have not heard of that. Thank you, fellow stalker.
Business directory. It's all, it used to be a printed book. And
Okay. Absolutely. Any other tools? I mean, and obviously you can do the same thing on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll get into that. Any other, Kate?
Another Nashville source, since you were talking about businesses that are new and that sort of thing, Venture Nashville, I don't
Yes.
think Milk Caps, I don't think is here right now, but Venture Nashville is great for knowing about new companies and newly funded companies. which
Yes,
is-
venture capital, and they've got an e-blast. Same thing, I get their e-blast.
Courtney, Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
It's a great
Courtney,
Yes.
there's one you got to pay for, it's called LexisNexis.
Yep, I've seen that one too. Oh yeah, I'm so cheap, I don't pay for anything. So yes, LexisNexis, you can pay for it. I don't even have the next level up on LinkedIn because I'm that cheap. Another thing about LinkedIn, there's groups on there. So I join any group that could possibly help me. Networking, technology, social media, things that make sense to me. And I join these groups, and then people start discussions in the groups. Just like all social media, and this is a digital conference, so I'm not going to sit up here and preach about the power of social media, but it's really important that you interact with these groups as well. So you don't just join them, but put something up there. Question?
How do you find those to join?
There's this really cool button on LinkedIn that says groups you might like. Now, if you're not active on LinkedIn, or if you're brand new, you can just go in and start searching groups around your area, and you can use words like whatever it is business that you do, marketing or advertising or whatever it is, and then you can find groups that way. Some groups are open and some groups are closed, but even the closed groups are normally pretty cool about letting you in once they figure out you're just like a semi-stalker. Businesses can also have groups on LinkedIn now. So if you own a business or you're a part of a business, make sure you've got your group on LinkedIn, and then people can follow you. They can follow your business. Another tool that I love is Facebook. So some people are a little bit iffy about Facebook because it is personal. You know, you might have pictures of your kids and things like that up there. But you can do a search on Facebook to see if you know this person and how many people you have in common. So find Sally Smith on Facebook and wow, we have 25 connections. There's somehow I've got to be able to get into this company without having to make a cold call. Any questions on LinkedIn? So the question was, how do you find groups? I keep talking a lot about using your friends and your connections to get in the door. And people say, well, I don't have any friends. I don't have any connections. Well, no, really, you know, that comes down to effectively networking. And actually, Kate and I talked about this a couple years ago. When you meet people, when you come to events like this, don't just now definitely go to the bar, drink, have fun, but chit-chat, meet people. Get to know people, have your business cards. And then you'd be so surprised what type of people, and if it's not somebody that you're talking to, maybe somebody that they're connected to can really help you. Who in here, just out of curiosity, am I connected with on LinkedIn? Raise your hand. Okay, so I can find anyone in this room most likely, just because of those connections on LinkedIn. Another thing, when you connect with somebody via LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, or Facebook, change the message so it's not like, hi, I would like to be your friend on LinkedIn. Make it a little bit more personable. You know, hey, I met you at Podcamp. It was really cool talking to you. Hope to see you soon. Because sometimes people don't remember how they met this person. Okay, so we've gotten to that part. Talked a little bit about Facebook. It is amazing, though, to see how many people are on Facebook and how you can get connected from a business perspective. It's also really good from online dating. If you meet them on Match, you should definitely be friends with them on Facebook because you find out so many great things. The key to being an effective digital stalker is to not just bombard people with constant requests to get in the door, but interacting and helping other people. So yes, connect, find people, but then don't just constantly ask for favors. Do other people favors. If you see a job posting you think somebody might be interested in, send that on, things like that. To me, it's being a good person, but it's also using social media the way that it should be used.
Hey, Courtney,
Yes?
can I tag on
Yeah.
one little
Yeah.
thought to that? So I don't know how many of you guys have run across this thing where it's this kind of a trend lately of people going, but how can I help you? And that just feels a little sleazy.
Oh yeah, that's cheesy.
Yeah, like I'd rather
Yeah.
see somebody being really thoughtful and proactive about, you know, I noticed you were looking for somebody,
Right.
you know, an online marketing intern or something, and I know a couple of people. Would you like me to introduce you to them?
Right,
Something
be
like that.
specific with
Right.
it, not the auto follow on Twitter that's like, what can I do for you? Because you don't actually mean that. What I mean is when you are using social media and you realize that somebody has posted something, you see that they're looking for a job, and you actually see a job posting, send it to them. Yes, thank you, Kate. Yeah, be sincere and hopefully in all that you do, but using social media as well. So just a couple of facts. Like I said, I'm not a geek, so I don't do a lot of number stuff. But so Facebook has, does everyone know the game 6 Degrees of Separation, Kevin Bacon? Right. Okay, so Facebook has 5.73 degrees of separation. So basically, anyone that you could possibly know in the world is 5.73 degrees away from you if they're on Facebook, which is half of a billion people. Twitter is 4.67, which is probably because there's less people on Twitter. And then LinkedIn tells you exactly how you can connect. So it says, you want to get to Sally Smith, you have 28 people that can get you there. So I say, they're giving you the numbers, go for it. Okay, so you're doing all of this work, and you can't find a person on Google. Okay, like you're trying to stalk this person, you can't find them, and it drives you crazy. That got me thinking about, are you being able to be found on the Google? And the reason I say that is, it's great, you're trying to find business, and you're trying to go connect with people and build your company, but what if there's somebody out there trying to do the same thing with you? Do you have a picture with your profile? Not just Facebook, but Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Google profile is huge. Obviously, we know Google pretty much rules the world. So, there's a Google profile. Put a picture with it. Do you have an email? Even if you don't want to use your regular email because of spam, create a Gmail that's just your spam email and put that out there. Is your business listed? I go to Google people, and it's amazing what they don't have listed. And it's like, wow, I'd really love to do business with you, but I can't find you to work with you. Does your profile accurately portray who you are? So if I'm Google stalking you, and I think that Sally Smith is the CFO of this company that I want to talk to, but it's just random and outdated, the resume is old, and I'm going, well, maybe this isn't Sally Smith. Well, I've lost a lead there. So think about, is that happening to you, and how many people aren't being able to find you? How much business are you losing because you haven't updated your profiles? Your website. First of all, do you have one? Hopefully everybody has a website. Websites nowadays don't have to be the $30,000 ridiculous websites that were of the 5 years ago. Even a blog, and I'm a huge fan of blogging, but those are the types of things that are going to be able to make people find you. Once I get to your website, can I find you? Like, do you have an email address? Do you have a phone number? Novel idea. So many people don't have phone numbers. Do you have a physical address? I'm old school, and I like to write thank you notes. And I end up having to email people and ask them, can you please send me your physical address? Because I want to send them a thank you note. So even if you're afraid of someone actually stalking you, which I promise I won't do, but just get a P.O. box or something like that. Because people, especially your customers, they want to send you things through the holidays, notes, things like that. Let's see. Is all of your social media links on your website? So I'm going to stalk you, so I want to know, are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on LinkedIn? It's super easy. All of those social media tools have the code on their website where you go copy and paste it. You put your Twitter, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your YouTube, whatever you want to, right there on your website. So it's just a super easy link for me to find you. How you look online, I think, really portrays what type of person you are, accurate or not. Do you look sloppy? Do you look unorganized? If you don't have a picture, you don't have your logo, it just says to me, well, do I really want to do business with this person? You could be the most stellar business person out there, the best in what you do, but you might not look like it online. So I would just suggest you maybe take an afternoon and kind of stalk yourself to see what you look like online to other people. Okay, so I tweeted a couple days before this session today for people to send me numbers between 1 and 105. I think it was on Wednesday. There was 105 people signed up for the session, so that's where I came up with the number. And I randomly picked people who were attending this session, and I stalked you. And I found out some really interesting things. How am I on time, by the way?
Pretty good.
Okay. Sherry Parfait, are you in here? Hi, Sherry. Okay, Sherry, you're so easy, and I loved it. Okay, so you're one of the numbers, and so I just went, and I think you were like number 99. You were number 99, so I looked you up, and you were super simple because you had all of your information when you registered for Podcamp. So I just went right to your Podcamp registration, and I could find your Facebook and all of that stuff. You didn't have your LinkedIn on your Podcamp registration. Out of curiosity, any reason? Okay, so no specific reason, but I quickly looked you up, and it turns out that we have 11 mutual friends. On LinkedIn. On your Facebook site, I thought it was great because you have all of your social media links. So from Facebook, I could find you on LinkedIn, on Twitter, all of that kind of stuff. We're now following each other, and you came right back and said, thanks so much for the follow, which I just laughed because I was like, I stalked you and you don't know it. And another thing I noticed with Sherry is that you had the same picture and everything. And that makes it really helpful to realize, okay, on purpose, yes. Okay, this Sherry is the Sherry that I think it is. So I read an article about her in the Nashville Business Journal. I found her on LinkedIn. She's on Facebook. Yeah, this is definitely the person that I want to speak to. Now I'm going to get in touch with her. How do I do it? Well, we have 11 mutual friends. Let's see who I can use to get in touch with you. So I quickly figured out who you were, and we should have coffee and chit-chat, because we obviously know lots of people. Okay, Steve Chandler, are you here? Oh, what a brat. Steve's another really good one. It doesn't surprise me, though, because he owns his own company, and he's been doing this for years and years. But Steve was similar to Sherry. He had all of his social media links. It was very easily found. We have 13 mutual Facebook friends, which I was surprised. I figured we would have more. He has over 500 LinkedIn connections, which when you see people that's like the over 500, that's their magic number that I guess they just don't want to count anymore. But a lot of times it says you have a pretty good chance of getting a connection through someone who has over 500 connections on LinkedIn. And his profile was 100% complete. When I talk about profiles being 100% complete, it's not just LinkedIn where it says you have to do like 5 million things and give up your firstborn child for 100% completion. It's just the super simple things like your last name and your email and your basic ways that surprisingly a lot of people don't have. So he was another excellent person to stalk and super easy. Is Mark Wolf in here? Mark, okay. Mark, you were pretty easy to stalk because you spell your name with a C instead of a K. Same with mine, I spell my name differently, so it automatically is easier to find someone with a name that's spelled differently. One thing I noticed is that your blog was a little outdated, but that wasn't bad, but I was like, okay, he hasn't blogged in a while. That was the first thing I happened to look up.
I need some submissions from you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Dating, I don't know. What else? Dating and drinking, that's what I blog about.
Burgers.
And burgers, yes, and burgers, yes. Dating, drinking, burgers, and Franklin. Yeah, that's pretty much.
That could take my blog in a whole different direction.
It really could. Yeah. That's the fun thing about blogs. Well, and let me talk about blogs for a second. Blogs are so easy to update that if, let's say you're like, I can't afford a website, there's no way that I can afford to pay some IT person, totally understand. Get a blog, update it quickly, and then that information, when I Google you, if you're updating your blog constantly, you're going to be a lot easier. You're going to be easy to find. You had a great Facebook page. All of your links were on there. Again, same picture. And I noticed that your personal profile stayed very similar with your personal things, and then your business profile was very consistent with your business links and things like that. So that was great. You're still on MySpace? Oh my God, we still use MySpace? No, but you're in the music industry,
Right.
so it makes sense. But I laughed. I was like, MySpace. I didn't know people still use this, but they do in the music industry. So that was very interesting. So we have 2 shared connections on LinkedIn, and we share 7 groups. So I just thought that was interesting. So we've obviously, and I know I've seen you at a couple things, but we haven't met personally face to face. Same picture and everything. So I actually saw you today, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Mark Wolf. Before I even met you face to face. Okay, I'm totally a stalker. Hello, I'm announcing to everyone that I'm a stalker. It's called PCN 11 Stalk. Yeah. Is Kathy Sandler here? Kathy Sandler, you're a tough cookie. Okay, so you're not from New York. Because there's a Kathy Sandler who's in New York who's all over the place. And I was like, oh my God, this girl's coming from New York. That's awesome. She's coming. No, okay. Are you from Nashville or Brentwood? Nashville. Okay. I think I know you are, but I said I was too cheap. So I didn't pay the like $2.99 for a friend finder or whatever that stuff, because I just, I like to stalk for free. So I couldn't really find too much about you, which I thought was interesting. Even in your Podcamp profile, you didn't put anything in there. So I'm just curious, why?
Not to put me on the spot.
Oh no, hello, you came to my session, you know you're getting put on the spot.
Actually, legal reasons why I should honest.
Okay. So that brings me to the point, though, that I do think some people don't want to be found. And that's fine. But if you're a business owner, if you're a networker, if you're in the nonprofit industry, if you're doing something that you need to have an outwardly facing internet profile, it's important to at least have a spam email set up. I mean, some way that even if you think someone's crazy and they're going to find you, that they really can't find you that way. And the reason I say that is because this is just the way that business is being done. Networking is wonderful. I love it. I love going to all the different networking events. I'll take your business card, but I'm not the type that's just going to stop there. I'm going to go look your business up. I want to see what your website looks like. I want to see if we know people in common. And it's not always for business purposes. Sometimes it's just fun life purposes. But just realize people are looking for you out there. You know, you can go to LinkedIn, and if you pay the extra money, again, I'm not going to, but it'll say, so many people have looked at your profile so many times this month. I mean, are you ever curious why? I mean, you might be losing business. How many people in here own their own company? Okay, keep your hands up. How many of you have complete LinkedIn profiles? How many of you, Facebook's iffy because I know some of you don't want to use it. How many of you have a way to contact you on your website? Excellent. including your social media links where they can just click right on it. Nice, why are y'all even here? You just wanted to know what I found out about people. No. Okay, so I'm going to end with a few points. And I've said this before, but genuinely connect with people that you meet. So hopefully everyone here has business cards. If you want to, exchange business cards, go out to the bar, drink, have fun. But when you get a business card, really do some follow-up with it. And it doesn't matter if that person may not be able to do business with you, because it may be somebody else that you know that could do business with them. Have your connections connect you. So if you're really trying to get in with somebody, and you know that you're on LinkedIn or you're buddies with somebody, that's how you get in the door. Again, don't be that person that calls the same person, every 5 minutes and says, hey, I need to get into this person, that person. But in general, have your connections connect people, because if I'm friends with someone and I tell one of my friends, yes, you need to meet Susie, hopefully because I'm a decent judge of character, that has been tested in the past, but I'm pretty much a good judge of character, they'll say, okay, well, if Courtney thinks Susie's cool, then awesome, I'll meet this person. Keep your digital profile up to date. So, like I said, make sure it's accurate. I think sometimes people just forget. They forget that they've changed jobs. I've looked at people like, wow, I know that they no longer work for that company. It was like 5 years old. It could totally have just slipped their mind, but it just kind of says to me, you don't update that stuff? Maybe what else are you not doing well? And my last piece of advice is use Match.com to find your future husband. Do you guys have any questions? Comments? Come on, people.
I wanted to give a funny about how LinkedIn worked for me. My wife became aware of a company that was struggling here in Nashville. They had an application with her company, and it was stinking. So she suggested that I call the company headquarters in Seattle, Washington. So I called the president. They were fine. They didn't want one. They've already got one. And so then I went to LinkedIn, and I saw that this president went to Gonzaga. And during March Madness, I said, hey, go Zags, you want to chat? And it came back, absolutely, let's talk, here's my cell. And it was amazing how just using the contact information that I found.
Well, that, and you didn't say, hi, my name is Mark, and I'm with the Interactive Agency, because they probably get that all the time.
Right.
You kept it personal, and you said to him, I took the time to read your profile, and I want to make a connection with you. Yep.
So Courtney,
Absolutely.
isn't this a little bit creepy sometimes, though?
Stalking people? No, I love it. Yeah, it can be creepy, but if you're a small business owner, especially, you've got to get in with the companies that you think you can do something with them. So, I don't know. My definition of creepy is probably different than others. So, no, I think if you put your information out there, like Kathy, you didn't want to be found. There's a reason you don't have your information out there, and I couldn't find you. So if you really don't want to be found, then you're not going to be found. But hopefully, if you want to get clients and make money and things like that, you're going to put your information out there. Question?
Yeah,
Eric.
in response to the thing about it being creepy, I think it boils down to what's your intent.
Yeah.
If your intent is as a person to actually help someone in some way, if you believe that your business has the ability to help someone, then you're not, I don't think that's not creepy. Now, if you're just trying to burglarize, yeah.
Yeah, if you ask them on dates all the time and they keep saying no, that's creepy. Yeah, that's weird. Danny?
I just wanted to say too, I think different mediums also are a little bit different. For instance, for me, if anyone friends me on LinkedIn, I'll friend them. If anyone friends me on Twitter, basically I'll friend them. But Facebook, I'm a little more cautious with. And that's kind of how I take control of that, because on my Facebook, I'm going on my honeymoon. I'm going to have bikini pictures, yo. So
Yeah, and you guys, I didn't talk that much about Facebook for that reason. I
Right.
really use LinkedIn. Same thing with Facebook. Yeah, you've got pictures of your kids up there.
But I've got people who will send me 3 requests for Facebook,
Danny Heilman, Facebook. She's got really good pictures on there. All right, any other questions? If we have not connected on LinkedIn, please find me, Courtney Rogers, and feel free to come up and chat and give me your card. And I appreciate it so much. Thanks, guys.